Swell. Today I learned Abigail.
Welcome to Arithmetic students watching. We're going to begin our warm-up today by saying our six multiplication family. Rows 1, 2, and 3 and students watching, you're going to give us the first fact. Then rows 4 and 5, you're going to echo, stand when it's your turn. Rows 1, 2, and 3, students watching, start by standing and starting us off with 0 times 6. Together again. 0 times 6 equals 0. 1 times 6 equals 6. 2 times 6 equals 12. 3 times 6 equals 18. 4 times 6 equals 24. 5 times 6 equals 30. 6 times 6 equals 36. 7 times 6 equals 42. 8 times 6 equals 48. 9 times 6 equals 54. 10 times 6 equals 60. 11 times 6 equals 66. 12 times 6 equals 72. Good job. Rows 1, 2, and 3, great teamwork. Rows 4 and 5, great volume. As we continue on to our sixth division family, we're going to start with our ladies. So students watching, join your team. Ladies, start to stand for us, and you're starting with 0 divided by 6. Together begin. 0 divided by 6 equals 0. 6 divided by 6 equals 1. 12 divided by 6 equals 2. 8 divided by 6 equals 3. 24 divided by 6 equals 4. 30 divided by 6 equals 5. 36 divided by 6 equals 6. 42 divided by 6 equals 7. 48 divided by 6 equals 8. 54 divided by 6 equals 9. 60 divided by 6 equals 10. 66 divided by 6 equals 11. 72 divided by 6 equals 12. Well done, you may be seated. Now we're going to continue with practicing all of our multiplication facts together. I'm listening for fast, accurate answers. Row 3, stand.
48.
48. 48 is right.
35.
35, good.
32.
32 is the correct answer.
15.
Yes.
30.
30.
24.
24.
24.
Good. Students watching, how many were you able to beat? Good. Row 2, continue.
16.
Yes. 18. 28.
24.
Yes. 18 is right.
27.
Good. 25.
42.
42. Well done. Adriana was fast. Students watching, were you able to keep up with her? Fantastic. Row 1, continue.
36.
Yes, Emily.
12.
12 is right. 36. 20.
21.
21. Good, Jacob.
54.
54. 60 is right.
24.
24. Good. Accuracy. Row 4, continue. 30.
15.
Yes.
12.
12.
45.
Good, Jimmy.
40.
40. Good, Jackson.
18.
18. Good, Morgan. Row 5.
36.
36. Good, Deb.
60.
Yes, Carly.
72.
72 is right.
60.
60. Good.
48.
48.
9.
9 is right.
48.
48.
35.
35.
36. 32.
32. Good, Deb. Students watching, how many were you able to get correct? Fantastic. Now we're going to continue with several of our division facts. Wait for me to call on you. Students watching. Adriana.
3.
Good. Carson.
5. 5.
5. Cadence.
10.
Yes. Tyra.
2.
Kathleen.
12.
12 is right. Anna.
4.
Jimmy.
6.
No.
7.
7. Jackson.
10. Yes.
Yes. Carly. You got it, Deb.
12.
Good. Lexi.
Yes.
Yes. Morgan.
12.
Excellent. Amaya. 12. Presley. Close. Lexi. 8. Right. Gage. 12. Fantastic thinking. At this time, be ready when I call your team to give me the answer. So students watching, you join your team as well.
12
times 5 divided by 6
times
7
equals
equals girls. Cadence? Yes,
Fantastic.
fantastic.
7
7 times 8
plus 10
plus 10
divided by 6
equals boys.
Asa?
Asa?
8. You're very close.
You're very close.
Let's think again.
Let's think again. 7 times 8
plus 10,
plus 10
divided by 6
divided by
equals
6
anyone.
equals anyone.
Carson?
Carson?
12. Caden?
Caden?
Students watching?
Students watching?
Jimmy? 90.
Jimmy?
90. No.
No.
The answer is 11.
The answer is 11. We haven't learned yet our 7 multiplication family, but if you were able to figure that one out, excellent
42
thinking.
divided by 6
42
times
divided by
7
6
plus
times
1
7
equals
plus 1 equals anyone.
Carson?
Carson?
Caden?
27,
Caden?
24,
Deb?
Students watching?
23,
Students watching?
All
All right, I'll slow it down for
42 divided by 6
42 divided by
times
6
7
times
plus
7
1 equals.
plus 1 equals.
Carson?
Carson?
Emily?
Emily?
49,
You're very close.
Aiden?
40,
Aiden?
44,
50
Caden?
is the correct answer. Now, we do know our
50 is the
six
correct answer. No,
families,
we do know
so
our
if you can
6
figure out 6
families.
times 7,
So if you
and
can
then
figure
add
out
your
6
1.
times 7 and then add your 1,
6
then you
times
have your
8
50.
plus
6
2
times
divided by
8
5
plus 2 divided by 5 plus 9 equals girls.
Boys? Caden?
Boys?
No.
Caden?
90,
No. Students watching?
I'll slow it down. 6 times 8
I'll slow it down. 6
plus
times
2
8 plus 2
divided by 5 plus
divided
9
by
equals.
5 plus
Caden?
9 equals.
Not 59.
Fifth,
19
not
is
59.
the correct
Asa?
answer.
19,
12
19 is
minus
the correct
8
answer.
minus
12
4
minus 8
times 7
minus
equals
4
girls.
times 7
Cadence?
equals girls.
No.
Cadence?
0,
No.
Una.
Emily?
Ira?
Una.
4,
Tyra?
0,
Boys?
Kathleen?
1,
No.
Cadence?
Boys?
Carson?
Cadence?
7,
Carson?
15,
I'll slow it down
4
just a little bit more.
minus
12 minus
4
4
times 7
minus
equals.
4
Arthur?
times 7 equals. Arthur?
Carson?
28,
28
Carson?
is the correct
28,
28 is the
times
correct
3.
answer.
Now we don't know
7 times
3, but we
3.
do know 3
Now we don't know
times
7
So
times
think
3,
about
but we
the
do know
direction.
3 times 7.
Minus
So think
1
about it the opposite
plus
direction.
8 divided
Minus
by
1
equals anyone.
plus 8
Caden?
divided by 4 equals
7 is
anyone.
correct.
Caden?
7,
7 is correct.
7 times 7 minus 9
7
divided
times
by
7
4
minus
6
9
equals
divided by
anyone.
4 minus
bonus
6
one.
equals anyone. It's a bonus one.
I'll slow it down just a little bit. We'll become more
I'll slow it down
familiar
just a little
with
bit.
our next
We'll
family in just
become
a
more
moment.
familiar
But
with
7
our
times
next
7
family in just a moment. But 7 times 7 minus 9 divided by 4 minus 6 equals anyone. Jackson?
4,
4. Fantastic. If you were able to come up with that answer, excellent job meeting that challenge. At this time, prepare for your speed drill. Lesson 71, you'll have 2 minutes. Speed drill positions. Lesson 71, 2 minutes, you may begin. Number 3. Number 2, Morgan, go around and complete problem number 3. While they're completing those problems, I want you to listen carefully for some more rapid calculation practice. When I say equals, you may pop and be ready to give me the answer. Students watching, work to compete and beat these contestants. 5 times 6 minus 5 divided by 5 equals. Emily. Carson? 5 is correct. 48 divided by 6 divided by 2 divided by 1 equals. Students watching. Pop. Anyone? Cadence.
4,
4 is correct. 2 plus 2 times 2 plus 2 divided by 2 equals. Anyone? Carson?
2,
Caden?
5,
5 is the correct answer. 10 times 5 plus 5 divided by 5 equals. Students watching? Pop. Una.
11,
11 is the correct answer. Well done, Una. If you were able to beat these contestants, tell me how many that you were able to beat. Excellent work. Let's take a look at some of these problems on the sideboard. We're going to check their work and see if they were able to accurately come up with their answers. Now, several, or in fact, all of these problems had to do with money. So we remember Remember that when we're going to finish writing our answer, we need to include that dollar sign. We're dealing with money. Let's take a look at our first subtraction problem. We have 49 minus 26. 6 minus 8, we had to borrow from our 2. Subtract 1, add 10. 16 minus 8 is 8. Now, for the number on top of the 2, we had a 1. 1 minus 8 we can't do. So the bottom is bigger, so we borrow. 9 minus 1 is 8, and 10. 11 minus 8 here is 3. And then we had an 8 on top of the 9. Good. So then 17 should be the number here. And then we can carry our 1. 0 times 3 plus 1 is class. 1 is right. 6 and 11 is the correct answer. Well done, Una. If you were able to beat these contestants, tell me how many that you were able to beat. Excellent work. Let's take a look at some of these problems on the sideboard. We're going to check their work and see if they were able to accurately come up with their answers. Now, several, or in fact, all of these problems had to do with money. So we remember that when we're going to finish writing our answer, we need to include that dollar sign and that cent sign, or that cent sign, and remember that decimal point because we're dealing with money. Let's take a look at our first subtraction problem. We have 49 minus 26. For 6 minus 8, we had to borrow from our 2. Subtract 1, add 10. 16 minus 8 is 8. Now, for the number on top of the 2, we had a 1. 1 minus 8 we can't do. So the bottom is bigger, so we borrow. 9 minus 1 is 8, and minus 9. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. So our final answer, $19.38 is the correct answer. Excellent job working carefully through all of that borrowing. Let's take a look at number 2. We had $60.57 times 3. 7 times 3 is class?
21.
Good. Now here's the problem. We have a 2 underneath. Is that the correct number, Kathleen? What should it be? A 1. So it looks like we got a little confused. So the 1 goes underneath, we carry the 2 to the top. Now we have 5 times 3 plus 2, which is what class?
17.
Good. So then 17 should be the number here. And then we can carry our 1. 0 times 3 plus 1 is class?
1.
1 is right. 6 times 3 is what class? 18. So then we have 1, 2, decimal point. We remember to include the dollar sign in front. But we just need to make sure that our work is accurate. Let's move this number down beneath. And then our final answer then will be $181.71. Don't forget, when you're including your decimal point, you're working from this side. So it's 1, 2 decimal point, and then the dollar sign in front. Let's look at our addition problem. You can point and give me the number, or excuse me, you'll give me the number once I point to problems had to do with money. So we remember that when we're going to finish writing our answer, we need to include that dollar sign and that cent sign, or that cent sign, and remember that decimal point because we're dealing with money. Let's take a look at our first subtraction problem. We have 49 minus 26. For 6 minus 8, we had to borrow from our 2. Subtract 1, add 10. 16 minus 8 is 8. Now, for the number on top of the 2, we had a 1. 1 minus 8 we can't do. So the bottom is bigger, so we borrow. 9 minus 1 is 8, and 10. 11 minus 8 here is 3. And then we had an 8 on top of the 9. Again, the bottom number is bigger, so we have to borrow. Subtract 1, and then add 10. 18 minus 9 is 9. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. So our final answer, $19.38 is the correct answer. Excellent job working carefully through all of that borrowing. Let's take a look at number 2. We had $60.57 times 3. 7 times 3 is class?
21.
Good. Now here's the problem. We have a 2 underneath. Is that the correct number, Kathleen? What should it be? A 1. So it looks like we got a little confused. So the 1 goes underneath, we carry the 2 to the top. Now we have 5 times 3 plus 2, which is what class?
17.
Good. So then 17 should be the number here. And then we can carry our 1. 0 times 3 plus 1 is class?
1.
1 is right. 6 times 3 is what class? 18. So then we have 1, 2 decimal point. We remember to include the dollar sign in front. But we just need to make sure that our work is accurate. Let's move this number down beneath. And then our final answer then will be $181.71. Don't forget, when you're including your decimal point, you're working from this side. So it's 1, 2 decimal point, and then the dollar sign in front. Let's look at our addition problem. You can point and give me the number, or excuse me, you'll give me the number. Once I point to that, you'll add those two numbers together. 7 plus 8 is class.
15. 15. 20.
So we have our 0, carry the 2. Start with 2.
2. 8. 13. 16. 23.
23. So we have the 3. We can bring the 2 straight down because there's no other additional column, Lexi. 1, 2 decimal point. Don't forget the dollar sign. $2.30 is the correct answer. Let's take a look at these problems here. As we compare these problems, we're looking for greater than, less than, or equal to. Which one is larger, an inch or a foot? Arthur?
Foot.
Right. So we're going to use the symbol that will show us that we want to eat the feet because that one's larger. Now, if I were going to read this, it is inches is less than feet. For hour and minutes, which one's larger, Anna?
Hour.
Hour is correct. So we're going to use the side that has the opening towards the hour. So it would read the hour is greater than the minute. Which one's larger, a centimeter or a meter, Presley?
Meter.
Yes, so we're going to use the opening on this side. Centimeter is less than a meter. Now for these problems, we're going to need to figure out the answer first. 3 times 12 blank 6 times 6. Now what is 3 times 12, Asa?
36.
Yes, now what is 6 times 6, Aiden?
36.
Good, so we have 36, 36. Obviously those are what, Kathleen?
Equal.
Good, so we're going to write equal in the blank. Now we have 8 times 4 blank 6 times 5. What is 8 times 4, students watching? And Morgan?
32.
Good, and what is 6 times 5, Carly? 30. Which one is larger? Well, obviously what number, Jacob?
32.
Yes, so we'll use the greater than sign to point to the 32. Now we have this number, 201,952,100. Then we have the new number, 210,999,800. Which one is larger, Gage?
210,999,800.
Fantastic, excellent job. Now, we saw that both of them, Una, had 2 in the millions place. So then you had to go to the digit beside that 100 millions place to the 10 millions place. And then you see that 0 and 1, when you compare them, the 1 is larger. So that is the correct answer. Well done, Gage. We're going to think through time. When we think about days in a week, how many days are in a week, Jackson?
7.
Yes, there are 7 days in a week, and we can count our weeks in groups of 7. Today, we're going to take a look at how we would count those groups of weeks in groups of 7 by relating them to our 7 multiplication family. Let's take a look at some facts. I want you to raise your hand, students watching, and those at your seats, when you see a fact that we already know, or you can easily figure out. Let's take a look at the first one. 0 times 7. Have we talked about that one? Yes. You can put your hands up. We have talked about anything times 0 is 0. What about 1 times 7? Good, students watching. Excellent. We have talked about anything times 1. What about 2 times 7? Yes. Just remember to double it. 3 times 7. Yes. So you already know that one. What about 4 times 7? Good. We've talked about our 4 multiplication family. What about 5 times 7? Good. I see lots of hands still up. You already know that one. Plus, you can remember on a clock, when you're counting by groups of 5, 5 times 7 is 35 minutes past the hour. 6 times 7. Yes, we have talked about that one. Now, 7 times 7, good. You can put your hands down for this one. This one is a new one. 7 times 7 equals 49. Let's say that together. Begin. 7 times 7 equals 49. Good. Now, 8 times 7 is also a new one. 8 times 7 equals 56. Let's say that together in our deep football voices. Ready? Begin. 8 times 7 equals 56. Good. 9 times 7 is also a new one. So let's say that one in our quiet voices, whispering. Ready? Begin. 9 times 7 equals 63. Good. Now let's take a look at 10 times 7. Yes, I see lots of hands up. Excellent, students watching, because we have talked about counting in groups of 10. So 10 times 7, you just add the 0 to that number to get 70. Let's take a look at 11 times 7. Well, 1 times 7 is 7, so then you'll just do that again. Again, another 7, so 77. 12 times 7, you can put your hands down. That is a new one. 12 times 7 equals 84. Let's say that in our tiny mouth voices. Ready? Begin. 12 times 7 equals 84. Good. So you only have a few new facts in our 7 multiplication family. We're going to start by counting by sevens. Let's start with 0. Just counting by sevens. Ready? Begin. 0, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70, 77, 84. Good. Now we're going to say our 7 multiplication family. Girls are going to start by saying 0 times 7, and boys, 63. Letter C, 2 times 7 equals? 14. Good. Letter D, 3 times 7 equals? 21. Yes. Letter E, 4 times 7 equals? 28. Good. Letter F, 5 times 7 equals? 35. Yes. Letter G, 6 times 7 equals? 42. You've got it. Letter H, 7 times 7 equals? 49. Yes. Letter I, 8 times 7 equals? 56. Good. Letter J, 9 times 7 equals? 63. Yes. Letter K, 10 times 7 equals? 70. And letter L, 11 times 7 equals? 77. Letter M, 12 times 7 equals? 84. Yes, students watching, how many were you able to get correct? Excellent. If you were able to remember the new ones, you can put a smile beside number 1. Let's look at number 2. Solve the story problem. You're going to use the workspace to the side to write down those facts. After we find the facts, let's look for our asking sentence or the question, and then look for any clue words to know how to solve it. So listen and follow along as I read. Letter A. Joshua went ice fishing with his dad on Lake Winnebago, Wisconsin. His dad caught 13 fish. Joshua caught 9 fish. How many more fish did Joshua's dad catch than Joshua? What are the facts, Asa? Right, so those are the numbers that you should have written down. Read our asking sentence, Morgan.
How many more fish did Joshua's dad catch than Joshua?
You found it. Are there any clue words, students watching? Anna, what are they?
How many?
Good. How many more means what, Madison? Are they? As you divide. Complete. Good. Letter B, 36 divided by 6. John. Kathleen?
LB.
Good. LB, period. 2,000 pounds equal 1 ton. And that is the measure of weight. So we're trying to find out how heavy something is. Look at number 4. Circle the letter of the statements that are sensible or make sense. So if it is sensible, you can put your hand on your head. If it's not sensible, leave your hand down in front of you. Letter A. It is simple for Tom to lift a ton. Does that make sense? Yes or no? I see many not touching your heads, and you're correct. That is not something that would be simple when we think of how heavy a ton would be. Letter B, your desk weighs about 15 ounces. Yes, put your hand on your head, or no, leave your hands down. I see several in row 2 saying no, and you're correct. Your desk would weigh a lot more than 15 ounces. Letter C, mother uses several pounds of butter to make a cake. Would that make sense? Yes or no, students watching? And right, row 3 is saying no, it doesn't make sense. Letter D, a birthday card from your grandparents would be measured in ounces. Yes or no? Jimmy says yes. Good. So you can pick up your pencil and circle letter D because that does make sense. Letter E, an elephant weighs about 5 tons. And Dev is saying yes, that does make sense. Letter F, a pet dog would be measured in pounds. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Emily says yes, and you're right. It does make sense. Let's look at number 5, divide and check. Remember to use your steps and work carefully. 2 of these problems have remainders. Begin completing A, B, and C. is 1, bring down your 5. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 minus 15 is 0 to check. 15 times 3 equals 45. Excellent work. Put a smile beside your answer, students watching, if you have the same answer and worked each step correctly. 87 divided by 4 for letter B. You have 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract 8 minus 8 is 0. Bring down your 7. 7 divided by 4, the answer is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. That's your remainder because nothing is left to bring down to solve. 21 remainder 3. To check